Not all black boys have fourth grade reading level. There are some.
The average black boy does. That's what we're saying. They look. First off, that's not even necessarily a bad thing. These boys will get accepted to heating and what is it called? HVAC school. They will go to plumbing school. They will be making 6 figures faster than anybody, 90-some% of their peers. Trucking school, that's what they need to be doing because they don't need the social skills. They won't get ostracized out of it by women. This is the funny thing about college jobs. They're administrative, sedentary jobs, which are now dominated by women who have affirmative action incentive over them for the job. That's why boys need to stay clear of college.
Unless it's a specialized major. If you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be an engineer, if you're going anything that actually makes sense is all he's saying. Again,
no, I get that. I get that. But what it sounds, I mean, even when he threw in the fourth grade reading level, what it sounds like he doesn't think that black men are qualified to go to college.
So I don't think that it's that they're.
I mean, did you just say a fourth grade reading level?
So, but here's the thing, right? Because I don't think it's qualified to go to college, right? Because if we're honest, there's plenty of people whose reading skills are lacking, and it shows, who are still functional members of society, right? Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. I think that to what Trigger Mike is saying, the degrees in which allowed men to be sole providers before are not creating the same income as they were. One, because the economy has changed, and two, the demands of society have changed, right? So Marcus and Trigger Mike talked about the STEM programs, but right now what's leading and continuing to grow is the tech industry. Those men are very quickly, within like less than a handful of years, earning well into the 6 figures.
For sure.
No schooling is required. Most of them are self-taught. Most of them are, buying into certifications that take a month to 6 months to attain. There's on-the-job training. There are websites in which people will mentor each other. Tech has become so huge that men are saying, why would I put myself into debt by going to school when I can just start earning almost immediately? I think men are significantly more efficient at finding ways of income, right? Because I
agree with that, but the stats don't show that our men are moving in that direction.
But, okay, I'm getting there, and I'm getting a little long-winded, so I'm going to try and condense it, right? I think that the one common thing that happens in households, right, especially, and we talk about this all the time in single-parent households, the young girls are taught that you need to do what you need to do so that you are not reliant on a man. And the other thing that happens is that young boys are often babied to a degree where they're coddled. They're not pushed, challenged into a way where they're forced to do it, right? But when we see it, when it's a 2-parent household, that father will put him through the ringer, right? He'll put his feet to the fire to make sure that he succeeds. And I think the moment that not all, right? And I hate that I have to keep saying this, but the moment that single Black mothers stop treating their sons the way they should be treating their partners, the more we'll start to see that change, right? Young Black men are being, the 4th grade reading level is not happening because people are there encouraging men to focus on their education. They're being told to focus on sports. They're being told to focus on entertainment. They're being told to focus on all of these other aspects, right? They're not being challenged to go into the fields where their counterparts are being thrown into by force.
So I have a question, because I think that, so when I say, so I know I mentioned university, but when I say education, because I would think that IT does you have to have some type of education for that. Do you not?
Not anymore.
So you just know computers, just go with
not traditional education.
Okay, I didn't say traditional. I'm not talking about a university, but I'm thinking any type of education. To me, if you go to a trade,
what type of IT you're going into.
So when you hear us saying this, you're hearing us say that even
community college is a college.
Okay, well, we were talking about
Community college is college.
It is a college.
We were
No, I'm
specifically
talking
talking, and he kept saying basket weaver degrees. We were talking about going to school for degrees that you pay money that will not pay you in the long run, and you pretty much babysitting and kicking it for 4 years. Everything outside of a babysitting, kicking it degree is a go. If your kids say, hey, I want to be an engineer, I'm going to dedicate myself to doing that. If you can't pay for it, whatever, we're going to take loans out. We will make it work. We're fine with that. Anything outside of something that the kid will benefit from in life, from going to school, like we can see the trajectory of the what is it, glass door, and it says, hey, this salary starts at this, and it makes sense when you do the cost versus risk analysis to how much you would incur in debt.
You're understanding what I'm just my question.
I understood. So let me answer your question, right? So here's the thing: with the age of the internet, learning has changed, right? What IT, like the technology sector, has done is that all of the information is now readily available, right? So there are so many people in the tech field that are self-taught from the information that's available on the internet that is no longer exclusive to universities. You don't have to go to school anymore, college or university. You don't have to go to school anymore. You just have to be certified by a reputable organization. So Google, Facebook, you have all of these organizations that are notable in their fields that as long as you're certified by them, you just pass the test. Almost any tech company will
So I have a friend who works for Facebook, and it was not that easy, and he went to an Ivy. Like, it's not as easy as you think. But let me just say, can I please give me a second? So if this is so easy, why aren't more if you're saying this is readily available at this very moment, why aren't most people doing just that?
It's not what we push. We don't push.
I was gonna say we're talking about the expansion of these jobs. Now, back to the college thing. This is my formula. Okay. The reason why men need to get out of college, it's so black men don't set the trend, nor do white men. What are the Asian and Middle Eastern men doing? They've retreated from college a decade ago. Their numbers are dwindling because they're in tech. These jobs also, because I design nursing programs, right? I design all of this stuff. They're making it so. You said, how do boys learn even though they have a fourth grade reading level? The reason boys do so poorly in school compared to girls is because school in America is audio and visual. Tech in all of its forms, not that Facebook stuff you were talking about, is kinesthetic. They get to touch computer keys. They get to watch the same lesson over and over. And like Enad said, take the information home with them. Access they would not have in a regular university that wants to lock everything down for its own copyright issues, right? So these people are like basically private instructors, giving one-to-one lessons, right? If they need it, to continue to bring things along with them. And the funny thing is, you can fail out and still pass, moving through different sectors of tech. So you can go from software to hardware, basically just putting computers together, printers, and you ever seen the IT guy at your school? Some of them were D students. Okay, they just know how to put hardware together. They know processes really well, and they're making $80K doing it.
So the thing about Asians, that's not true. I just looked that stat up. They're actually quite high when it comes to degrees, higher than the United States. But let me just say this.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You said that they're dropping.
Go look at their numbers year over year, decades.
In America.
So you're saying it's dropping, but they're still the highest. They're just dropping.
They're dropping, yes. The numbers of men in general in college are dropping because they're opting for these other fields that do not require a college degree.